Hi there. So I wanted to come back with a slightly different setup. I'm sorry if the lighting isn't that good and it's kind of a mess. But I'm about to start some evening, afternoon sprints with the Heart Breathing Writing community. They're doing a virtual writing retreat this weekend, and I did not have the energy to do it last night. But what I did do last night was something that I thought was kind of interesting, and I didn't even do an intro for this video. So hi, my name is Candace. I'm doing a series right now about Preptober, which is in preparation for NaNoWriMo, otherwise known as National Novel Writing Month, which takes place every November from November 1st through 30th, where you basically try to write 50,000 words or the first draft of a novel, or you can be a NaNoWriMo rebel and set your own goal. Any way is fine. I am trying to do the traditional 50,000 words. This is my first time doing it, so I'm kind of learning as I go, not trying to take anything too seriously. But one of the things that I talked about in my last video that I was saying that I was struggling with a little bit, I wanted to show y'all what I'm working on. I was having trouble with some character development. So instead of getting bogged down by the origins and by the motivations and the pain points for at least my two main characters, I have another, she's not a main character, but she's important enough, and I'm still trying to figure out how important I want her arc to be within the plot. I feel like I need it to be pretty important to the plot, so I'm still figuring that part out. But I wanted to show you what I was doing, because in addition to figuring out these main characters, I need to really build a realistic world around them. And that means having other supporting characters. So this probably isn't like a mind-blowing technique, but I wanted to do some character mapping. And I do this in two different ways. First of all, again, I have two main characters. I don't want to say that I have a protagonist and antagonist, or a hero and a villain, because depending on how you read it, I want these two characters to kind of bounce back and forth on whose side you're on. It's not as binary as that. Anyway, sorry, my brain froze there for a second. So the first thing that I did was oh my gosh, that is so bright. Oh, too dark. Okay, so the first character that I have is like my main character. And these, I just realized how close my face is to the camera. These little boxes around here is like, okay, that is a classification of a person. This is kind of like a group of people. This is another group of people. I think I have like his immediate family up here. And then just kind of like trying to map around it and figuring out, okay, who is everyone that I need to think of in relation to this character? And I honestly think this might be enough. I don't know, but I'll keep building out this one. The next one is much smaller. So this is the other character. I haven't fully developed this character as much as the other one, mainly because it's not a human, so I can't relate to it as much, so I'm gonna have to do like some deep brainstorming on this one. But anyways, this is the other character's little map. Now this next part I am very proud of. So since I have two characters who aren't necessarily like hero and villain, they're both evil, I did a Venn diagram. And again, this probably isn't mind-blowing, but I wanted to very clearly lay out their personalities and characteristics, both physical and non-physical, to kind of see like, okay, what do they have in common? and what is dissimilar about them. And I think that that is going to help me a lot when I'm creating their arcs and figuring out exactly how this is going to resolve. But I am going to be working tonight during these sprints. I want to work more on this. Something else that I want to work on are my character arcs for these two characters, and then also for my third sub main character. I don't know, is there a term for that? I don't know. But anyways, by the way, I'm wearing my Military Women's Memorial t-shirt because in addition to doing this, I am also volunteering at the Military Women's Memorial this weekend. It is the 25th anniversary of the memorial, so I'll leave a link to that in the description box below if you're interested in it. This is just like my subtle little plug for that. If you know any service women, or if you are a service woman, please register your service with the memorial. That I'll leave all that. That's maybe another video for another time. If you're interested, let me know. Really excited with character mapping. I think it doesn't look like a lot was done here, but I feel like this is still a really important part to the planning. So I want to work on those character arcs and try to nail those down so that even if I don't have a solid origin story, maybe I can delve into that by doing interviews with my characters. And so I'm doing the character arcs, and then also another thing that I want to do is start to figure out the roles of the worlds between my two main characters, and then also like that subculture within my one main character's organization that he leads. So yeah, thanks. And I don't know. I don't know what the rest of this video is going to be like. I'm going to be recording a little bit over the weekend. So yeah, thanks. Let me get some mood lighting.
Hello. Welcome to our fifth session today. How many have we done? Of our virtual writing retreat.
Hi, so I'm about to start my first sprint of the weekend. It's Saturday night. I've got my candle going. I've got a new document open. I've decided that this first sprint is going to be an interview with one of my main characters to find out a little bit more about him as a brainstorming exercise. So I'll just record a little bit and speed through it. I'm trying to do more of a vlog style. So yeah, hope you enjoy.
How'd you knock out?
That was a 20-minute sprint. Sun is definitely starting to set. And I basically interviewed, I asked one question and wow, I got a lot. But my sub main character, Betty, who is named after one of the dogs that my husband and I used to have. There's a theme in the naming of the characters, by the way, just because it's easier to do and more fun for me. So let's see, how many words did I get? It was a 20-minute sprint. Oh my gosh, I got 757 words, y'all. That is crazy. I knew it was a lot, but wow. So there are bits and pieces of this character's backstory that I pulled from my own time as a teenager. Not all of it. I did embellish some. So please, if you ever read this book, if it ever gets published or I send it out for beta testing, don't think that like this is exactly my teenagehood. Not everything is what I did. But that definitely helped. And wow, 757 words in 20 minutes. I'm so impressed. So I'm actually going to take a break because my food did get here just before the sprint started. So I'm probably going to stop for this one because the sprint that I joined, they're doing 2 45-minute sprints after this, which sounds like a lot. So maybe I'll get to join in on the next one. Until that time, I'm going to put on an episode of X-Files, relax. I'm so happy. I feel like I feel like I know so much more about this character, and about the way that she comes into this world. So yeah, it's that was a confidence builder for sure. So if you're doing NaNoWriMo and you haven't done a sprint yet to see like just what you can do, by all means do one. It doesn't have to be specifically related to your book. Just go find a prompt or just sit down and start typing and see what happens. It's pretty awesome. So anyways, that's all that I'm going to record for tonight. I will be typing some more later, and also I will be back in the morning. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye. Hi there. So I did not actually record anymore during the weekend. It was kind of early yesterday morning whenever I did some sprinting. That was before I went back to the memorial, and then by the time I was done, I was exhausted. There was nothing else that I could do for that night besides eat and rest because I'm actually traveling for work this week. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to get my prep stuff done whilst I'm traveling and still doing work. I don't know. I'm really excited, but also really nervous. Anyway, so I did want to follow up and just let you know some of the things that I did finish up with. In addition to the interviews for my characters, I got a few character arcs for my 3 main point of view characters, which is what I'm calling them now. And I have figured out that I actually have a 4th point of view character. And I found that out whilst I was plotting out the first act. So I wanted to have one person in the story who was kind of investigating and the one who was really looking to ask questions. I felt as though the story needed not a cynic, but a skeptic. And so I have included that point of view character. I'm stopping it there. I do not want to get too bogged down or make the plot too confusing with too many points of view. So right now I've got 4 point of view characters, and I'm almost done plotting out the first act of the story. So I did that, and right now I mainly have action scenes. So the way that I understand it, and I got this from Sarah Cannon and also just like some ideas on Pinterest. Again, this is my first time doing a novel draft, so this is very like just learning as I go. Please look to actual experts if you're wanting much success. But here is what I did. I found some ideas on how to create scene cards, and I really wanted to start getting some things down as far as like scenes and plotting. At least I think the way that Sarah Cannon mentioned it, and I'll drop a link to the specific video that I'm talking about down below. but it seems that there's like action and then reflection scenes. So right now I'm all on action. I don't think I have any reflection scenes in my first act so far, but hopefully I'm wrapping up the first act. It's already like kind of lengthy, but that's okay. It's always time to edit down later. So on my action scene cards, it's really just like a Google Doc, and then I'm basically outlining this way. And I'm looking at my computer over there. We've got overview, goal, conflict, and then outcome. And all of that is just helping me tie the threads of the story, keeping things moving, keeping things active. And as Sarah Cannon says, the conflict isn't necessarily always like two people fighting or something that's necessarily that is like super dramatic, but the way that I like to think about it, similar to how you can think about protagonist and antagonist, is that the conflict is anything that would keep our point of view character from achieving their goal. So it can be something as simple as someone, you know, stopped them in the street and then that caused them to be late for such appointment, what have you, if the goal was to make it to an appointment, for whatever reason. I'm just making that up because that is like not necessarily being stopped on the street, but being late for anything. It's like a fear of mine, so that's actually a big conflict. Anyway, so yeah, and then as far as reflection scenes, whenever I get to those, that is overview, reaction, dilemma, and decision. So this is really more so we're looking back on those action scenes, and we're going to take some time to dissect it, to understand it. That helps catch the reader up and also just kind of like level sets, like what is our character thinking about this right now. And as Sarah Cannon said, it can help with pacing too, so you don't feel as though you're sprinting through the whole thing. It gives you some time to digest what's happened. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I've done. I'm hoping to get a lot more plotting done in this manner while I'm on the trip. Also, maybe a character arc for my fourth point of view character. I feel like I need that at least a little bit for her. Her name is Mika. She is wonderful. But I'm so excited for this week and also just to see what I can get done. I can't believe that it's already October 17th, and in just like a couple weeks it's going to be November and I can finally start writing this thing, which is sort of like daunting to think about. But anyways, here are some clips from Saturday at the Military Women's Memorial. As I said before, I'm going to drop a link to that in the description below. Please look into it. If you know any servicewomen, if you are a servicewoman, or even if you're just generally a fan of military history, they have got some great stuff. I'll also link their YouTube channel below. They do have some more of like the longer form ceremony, large event things, but they also have these cool little moments in history type videos where it's maybe like 8 to 10 minutes long. I think they're not that long, but yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, night, rest of the week, and happy writing. Thanks.